Our local legends have always warned us about open fields, especially going alone, and have highlighted a particular danger in the cold season. But I have never been the type to abide by such rules, precisely for how peculiarly ungrounded in reality they seem to me. So when my grandma pointed out that one of the kids in the village became a mute after wandering alone in the fields at night, my boyfriend and I decided what we were going to do to kill our boredom. It was already dark out on that late January night when we started driving from village to village and town to town. This part of the country is poorly lit at night due to some fund issues and electrical malfunctions. It didn't bother us though. We loved being in complete darkness with only the headlights to light up the road. About an hour and a half later, we came across a dirt road to our right. My boyfriend and I exchanged thrilled looks and took the path to nowhere right through the open field. The land was barren at the time, but it usually served for growing crops such as corn and sunflower. About 10 miles in, we stopped the car, got out, and lit up a cigarette. We left the headlights on and started chatting, remembering the old spooky tales we would listen to as kids, as they were told by the elders. Not long after that, perhaps 5 minutes into our conversation, we heard a curdling scream. Soon after the jump scare, we laughed it off. It was most likely an owl, we thought. The wind was picking up, however, and we lit up one last cigarette before deciding we'd go home. That's when the moaning started. My boyfriend was the one to shush me once he'd picked up on it. It sounded like someone was moaning and groaning in pain. We exchanged concerned looks and threw away the freshly lit up cigs. It was time to go. The engine was still running, so it could keep the car warm. We got in, and my boyfriend put it in reverse to get back on the dirt road. A few seconds later, though, everything stopped. The engine died together with the electronics. How convenient, I laughed and rolled my eyes as he was trying to restart the car. It did not budge. The wind picked up again, this time so strong that the car started rocking from side to side. Everything went quiet, and the moaning returned soon after. Looking out the window on the passenger side, I thought I could spot a figure in the distance. In the faint light of the moon, a human shape stood a few yards away. It wasn't moving. At first, I thought it was a scarecrow, but it was hunched over. It couldn't have been. My boyfriend started swearing, and it started moving, and it looked like it was standing up straight. It couldn't have been shorter than 8 feet tall. One of its hands was raising slowly, and soon I saw it pointing at us. Something grabbed my shoulder and started shaking me violently. I screamed. It was my boyfriend basically yelling at me to snap out of it. He grabbed me and hugged me, asking me what was wrong. He said he'd been asking for my phone for a couple of minutes as he'd left his at my place. I was hyperventilating, trying to make him look at the thing in the field, trying to explain what I had seen. He said there was nothing there and asked for my phone again. I started shakily feeling my pockets as my eyes got glued to the window, searching for that creature again. It was nowhere to be seen. I finally found my phone and handed it to my boyfriend as I squinted and blinked to adjust my vision. Where did it go? Your phone is dead, goddammit, I heard, and he gave it back to me. That's not possible, I just charged it, I protested, and as I tried turning it on, I just got the low battery icon and the black screen. My boyfriend tried the engine one more time, and this time, fortunately, it worked. The car started purring, and as it did, a loud screeching noise came out of the speakers, deafening us and making us jump. I stumbled to turn the volume down, trying to cover my ears at the same time. Eventually, it stopped, and the radio station came on. That's when my phone turned on, out of nowhere, and I started getting a million notifications. It kept beeping and beeping, and both of us looked at it, not understanding what the hell was going on. I looked at the screen, and all I could see was the same message over and over again. Get out, get out, get out, get out. There was no sender number though. How was that even possible? It kept sending the same notification, and that's when my boyfriend said fuck it and turned on the headlights ready to get us out of there. It was right there. We screamed. In the light of the headlights, we could now see it clearly. Standing less than 6 feet away from our hood was the same tall, hunched-over figure. It raised its head suddenly, and we saw its face. It looked dead. It had long, tangled white hair and a white beard, a crooked nose, and a gaping black mouth too big for a human. It was like its jaw was broken or something. And those impossibly big, black, empty eye sockets. Just as my boyfriend tried flooring it, our car died once again. And I started crying and shaking, covering my mouth. The figure was gone. Again. He started swearing again and turned the ignition over and over. We pretty much thought we were done for in that moment. When the car finally came back to life, the figure was looking at us straight through the driver's window. We floored it and never looked back. As soon as we got home, we were greeted by my grandma, sitting on the bench in front of the gate. She shook her head and put her hands on my cheeks, looking back and forth at me and at my boyfriend. You saw him, didn't you? Hello, my little ghost, it's good to have you back. As always, if you enjoy my stories, please remember liking, subscribing, and maybe leaving a comment. We are not too far from my first 1,000, and I would really love if you guys could help me reach that. It's only a click of a button for you, but it means the world to me. Thank you so much again for your support.